for tuning in to this edition of Positively Montana. I'm Hallie Schwinnard. Each week we travel the state looking for the good in our communities. People going that extra step, helping others and being kind to one another. Let's begin with a Montana favorite, the rodeo. Needless to say, it can be an expensive sport, but for kids in western Montana, barrel racing and bareback riding just got a little more accessible. In Darby, there's now a gear library, giving the next generation the opportunity to get in the saddle.
Rodeo right now is at an all-time spectator high, but we are in contestant low.
To make the next generation of rodeo pros, kids need to try the sport and see if it's the right fit.
You got to have little cowboys and little cowgirls to make big cowboys and big cowgirls. That's just the way life goes.
But getting started can cost thousands, and getting on a bull or bronc is quite a bumpy ride, especially for first-timers.
All of a sudden they find out it's a lot rougher than they anticipated, so they go, "Mom, I don't think I want to do this anymore." So there's Mom with a $3,000 barrel horse.
So for many, borrowing gear may be the only way to participate.
I remember when I first started, there's 3 of us kids who were all using the same bareback rig.
After raising $22,000, the Darby Rodeo Association teamed up with Red Eye Rodeo to set up a gear closet with everything from protective vests to ropes.
You know, this isn't reinventing the wheel, we're just adding some spokes to the wheel.
At different rodeos across western Montana, kids can check out a saddle just like a library book.
It's going to be a more controlled environment for the kids to learn in instead of getting hurt.
Hoping to start a legacy, they find access and mentorship to be the first steps.
We're building something here right now today that there's no reason can continue on for years and years to come.
The closet will be open at Kalispell's NRA Finals early November. In Darby, Emily Brown, MTN News.
A Billings veteran recently received the chance of a lifetime, taking part in a Montana moose hunt. It stems from another veteran donating his moose tag after waiting 26 years to draw it. Now that Billings veteran is paying it forward, sharing the meat from his hunt with others.
It was a trip of a lifetime for Army veteran Chris Grodzinski.
It was a dream come true. It was awesome.
A trip that happened after a fellow veteran donated his Cal moose tag.
It was a donated tag from the Montana Fish and Wildlife Park's Purple Heart recipient donated tag program, and donated by Steve Earle.
A tag Steve had been waiting a long time to get.
He put in for 26 years before he got this tag.
When the tag was sent to the Big Sky Warrior Outreach Program, the group's president, David Bradley, said Chris was the perfect fit.
He's continued to give back to the veteran community, so we're just very honored to host him.
The outreach program takes veterans on outdoor experiences.
This opportunity does not come around very often.
And Chris is grateful.
It was hands down, I mean, from every hunt that I've ever done before, this one takes a cake that it obviously had to be meant to happen, because it could not have been easier.
But for him, it wasn't just about the hunt.
It's not so much the feeling of shooting it as the fact, the opportunity, what it took, the opportunity that I was given, and everybody involved. I was so grateful. That's what I felt shooting this animal, was harvesting this animal, was getting that gratitude that I was feeling and showing everybody the thank you by providing this animal with the gift that they were giving me, that I was able to harvest it.
Now, a week after the hunt,
we're going to go meet Steve in Missoula.
And he will donate some of the 300 pounds of meat back to Steve and other veterans.
We're going to fill his freezer with the moose from his tag that I had the opportunity to get, the privilege, and whatever Steve can't take, we are going to include the moose into the Veterans Meat Locker gift bags.
Chris wants everyone involved to know his appreciation.
Being able to give back to those that have served and help with the families to know that this is a gratitude for their service. All those ranchers, everybody involved, I hope they feel what I feel, and that it is so grateful for their service, and this is how we thank them, by giving back.
In Billings, Hannah Pettiferry, MTN News.
At Montana State University, you'll find Veterans Park, described as the heartbeat of campus, a place to recognize those who've served. The park has been revitalized and recently held a grand opening ceremony.
been a lot of veterans that have gone to Montana State University and have served.
I spoke with Terry Hamburg, a retired colonel with the U.S. Army, about the new Veterans Park.
Including our 1941 Bobcat football team, who signed up in 41, and we lost a lot of those members in combat.
Terry has a special tie to MSU. He completed his bachelor's degree here in biomedical sciences and served as the ASMSU vice president in 1984. Now, he helps teach US 101 classes and spends time in the Travis W. Atkins Veteran Support Center, named for a Medal of Honor recipient and Bozeman native killed in Iraq in 2007.
Well, the Veteran Support Center provides a space for veterans to go into, and we're around people that we think alike.
The new Veterans Park is located beside the Travis W. Atkins Veteran Support Center,
which is a fantastic space for students to get help, not only with tutoring and with their academics, but also with their veterans benefits to make sure they're making progress toward their degrees.
I also spoke with Interim Vice President for MSU Communications, Michael Becker, about the new Veterans Park.
This is a fantastic outdoor space that both provides a gathering and conversation space for our campus on this side of the university, but also honors the veterans who've served in uniform in our nation's armed forces.
According to MSU, the university is one of the top 10 military-friendly schools in the nation.
We're very proud of how we serve student veterans at Montana State. This fall, we've got about 700 people receiving student benefits at the university.
The new Veterans Park, which is now open, features 2 flagpoles and 7 stone pillars that represent the 6 U.S. military branches.
This helps us to remember that everything here is because veterans have fought to keep us free to be able to have a free education.
In Bozeman, Gabrielle Cleveland, MTN News.
A program aimed at deterring young people from the dangers of drugs, alcohol, and a life behind bars made its way to the Electric City. Inmates from the Montana State Prison shared their past experiences in hopes of educating teens.
What's life like in prison? Well, some at-risk youth in Great Falls learned firsthand Wednesday from 2 people who have been there and who are still there when the Choices in the 406 program made its way to the Alliance for Youth.
I essentially let 60 seconds of my life earn me 60 years in prison, damaging multiple lives in the process.
Richard Sullivan is a Montana State Prison inmate serving a sentence for murder. On Wednesday, he shared his story with a group of Great Falls teens.
I was a ticking time bomb. All of that suffering that I had been suppressing for all those years, it all came out at once. I ended up beating Robert to death.
His appearance was part of the Choices in the 406 program, which for the past year has been making rounds at schools and detention centers across the Treasure State. Inmate stories show how the choices they made impacted their lives.
Honestly, it's pretty amazing to watch the impact that it has on the kids and how well it's received and how differently it's received coming from the inmates rather than just your standard person.
The latest audience was students in the Great Falls Public Schools Restart program. Under the direction of former school resource officer Corey Reeves, it offers an option for students who are not engaged in a traditional school setting.
It's a rough life. You know, this isn't a life for anybody. You know, one bad decision could change everything for you.
Sullivan's fellow inmate Richard Dunn told students about a life of abuse and time in gangs that eventually led him to killing his friend.
Well, I ended up getting natural life without the possibility, so I'll never see the streets. I'll never see my kids.
For the students in attendance, the presentation made an impact.
I'm kind of struggling myself, so that was actually kind of educational.
It was nice to get the perspective of what it's like to commit a crime and feel the guilt and stuff afterwards, and knowing that it can ruin someone's life entirely.
The inmates gave candid answers about everything from the dangers of drugs and alcohol to prison food, and they said not a day goes by where they don't think about what they did. They left the kids with valuable advice.
If you guys are going through anything, any kind of trauma, if you guys have any problems, you can speak up.
I know I don't know any of you guys in here today, but I want to be the first to tell you guys that you matter.
In Great Falls, Tim McGonigal, MTN News.
If you're in need of some new clothes, Gallatin High is the place to be. On November 1st, 2 high school seniors are hosting a clothing event where they'll be giving out thousands of free clothing items thanks to some local businesses.
Meet Katie Crosby and Maria Mendez, both seniors at Gallatin High that are members of DECA, an international business club for high schoolers.
We go and compete at state levels through different events.
As part of DECA, Katie and Maria are hosting a clothing drive for students and the community.
So essentially we choose a project and we have to hold out an event or create awareness of a certain aspect.
Katie tells me this is her second year hosting this clothing drive.
I've always kind of loved fashion. I work in clothing and retail, so I kind of decided I wanted to do something where I could help the community and where clothing has an impact.
Last year, Katie's clothing drive brought in more than 10,000 articles of clothing. This year,
it's going to be probably close to 15,000 pieces.
Katie and Maria tell me this is possible because of local businesses.
We have been partnered with more than 20 different local businesses to be able to make this happen.
I asked Maria and Katie why they decided to hold this clothing drive.
It's because there's a lot of students who they just don't feel comfortable with the clothes they have, and they don't really have like the opportunity to be able to get new clothing.
As soon as I kind of dressed nicer, I realized that I kind of felt more open and like was able to focus more in school.
From setting up the dressing rooms to reaching out to local businesses, Maria and Katie managed the entire drive from start to finish.
We're going to have a bunch of racks set up. We usually hang up our coats and try to hang up as much shirts as possible.
Both girls say the event couldn't be possible without the support of the community.
Thank you to all the businesses and people who have supported us throughout this whole journey.
Thank you for everything, and I hope we can see you guys here.
The event will take place at the Gallatin High Gym on November 1st. In Bozeman, Ishawalia, MTN News.
Still to come on this edition of Positively Montana, from diagnosis to treatment and recovery. Having a strong support system doesn't just help emotionally. Hear how it can genuinely improve recovery and quality of life. That story when we come back.
More stories from the heart of the Treasure State are on the way when Positively Montana continues after this.
Welcome back to Positively Montana. A big part of fighting cancer is knowing the resources that are available to help from a form of a support system. Studies show that those with strong support often cope better, experience less anxiety and depression, and even have improved treatment outcomes.
And I don't like to say I'm a survivor because I'm a thriver.
Doctors told Debbie Madonna she had 3 months to 3 years to live when she was diagnosed with a rare form of breast cancer. 6 years later, she is still fighting her stage 4 diagnosis and managing her condition with the support of her husband and friends.
You get a little sad, and you have to get through those moments of, hey, I'm going to die. I have an expiration date.
But she's also found refuge in a cancer support community, a facility that offers group activities and professional therapy for anyone affected by cancer directly or indirectly.
Anyone who's been impacted by cancer, we can help you.
Cancer Support Community of Montana helps people that are impacted by all forms of cancer cope emotionally.
Our therapists here are particularly trained in dealing with people who are in that situation, people who are going through a cancer diagnosis or someone who cares about someone who's going through a cancer diagnosis.
Also offering other resources, including classes to keep participants active, as well as free wigs.
One of the things I didn't know about when I first started this job is just how expensive wigs are. And so one of the things we provide are free wigs for everyone. They can come in and get as many as they want, keep them, bring them back, whatever.
My husband and I really can't afford it, or if we could, it would take money away from something else. So I just got on Amazon and bought pink wigs, green wigs, blue wigs, fake wigs for, like $10. But having a nice wig like here, that I was able to get, I wear it on special occasions, and I keep really good care of it because it's, it needs to last me a lifetime.
Debbie's only regret is not having known of this space that provides those resources sooner. Now Debbie has a way to connect with others going through a cancer journey of their own.
I have met so many people going through the same things I'm going through and have learned how they're coping with what they're going through.
Not everyone has a big group of friends and loved ones to help them through this time. Sometimes introverts and shut-ins get cancer, and in those situations, we can really help them as well, too, by just providing a community.
Despite the hardships, Debbie keeps a positive perspective.
I would not change anything, not even my cancer diagnosis, because that is what has made me me.
In Missoula, Cynthia Carranza, MTN News.
Halloween is quickly approaching. You may have a costume, or maybe you're a bit of a procrastinator and don't yet. There's nothing wrong with that. You still have time. But for some kids, the costumes you'll find in stores just don't cut it. That's where an adaptive Halloween costume program comes into play, helping kids with special needs so they can enjoy the fun too.
You're just tired. You're still having your PT.
For 3-year-old Anakin Milligan,
I wish I could take him to a store and go pick out a costume.
comfortable Halloween costumes are hard to come by.
But he can't.
At just 4 months old, Anakin was diagnosed with Menkes disease, a disorder that doesn't allow his little body to absorb copper.
It affects pretty much every single organ in his body.
He's the only child in Montana with the disorder.
It's definitely tough raising a complex care kid.
So, as Halloween rolls around, finding a costume to accommodate his wheelchair can get expensive.
And I know that there's some families that just wouldn't be able to afford, because these costumes are twice or 3 times as much as a regular Halloween costume.
But this year, Anakin's pediatrician, Katie Leisinger, wanted to help.
We're trying to get the word out because we have lots of costumes.
As a part of Billings Clinic, she's giving away costumes to kids with disabilities for free.
The costumes are designed uniquely for kids with special needs. They have special areas for feeding tubes, wider legs so they go on if you have mobility issues. There's even some of my favorite are the wheelchair costumes. They're very fun.
Anakin is one of a number of kids in the community using this program to dress up this Halloween. And with even more costumes left here at the pediatric wing of Billings Clinic, there is room for even more kids to benefit.
I think we as pediatricians get to see these kids that come in every day, and every day is a little more difficult than it would be for a regular kid. They have a lot more struggles.
Leisinger says she's passionate about helping all her patients feel included.
Halloween is something everybody should be able to participate in.
And this year, Anakin will buzz into this Halloween in a costume designed just for him.
He has seen Toy Story. He dances to the music in the movie. He just kind of like moves side to side.
In Billings, Vanessa Willardson, MTN News.
Still to come on this edition of Positively Montana. From the classroom to the great outdoors, when we come back, we'll introduce you to a teen that loves a challenge. Stay with us. Welcome back to Positively Montana. He's a cross-country star with a passion for learning, with perfect scores on standardized tests, not to mention picking up another language because he's bored. This teen has his eyes set on the future.
Austin Schellig loves to challenge himself.
I'm just a pretty competitive person.
It doesn't matter if he's running under the fall colors decorating Main Street in Joliet or challenging his sister in speech, drama, and debate.
We both want to win state.
Thing is, Austin is as comfortable in the classroom as he is chasing his first cross-country championship this Saturday. Maybe more so, especially in chemistry.
I've just always kind of been fascinated by just the processes of making things.
You know those intimidating standardized tests? Well, imagine scoring perfect on your PSAT, and then imagine doing it again on your ACT. Yeah, he did that.
For the PSAT, I didn't do a whole lot of studying. I took a practice test beforehand.
And he walked out of the room scoring a maximum 1520. That qualified Austin for the National Merit Scholarship. Then he nailed his ACT with a perfect 36. Caleb Price is his cross-country coach and English teacher.
You know, it can be daunting because I'm not the smartest person in the room. What he's helped me do as a teacher is become better, teach him the way that he needs, right, at a much higher level, but also make sure that all my other lessons are great.
During COVID, Austin said he was bored, so he decided to learn Mandarin Chinese. I asked him to translate a simple sentence.
Going to the store to get milk, that would be something like 我去商店买牛奶.
And he's proud to have won prestigious math competitions, both regional and statewide, down in Wyoming. He'd like to major in chemical engineering. Austin won a pair of state track titles last year for Joliet, taking the 1600 and setting a Class B record in the 800. Staring into the future, who knows where he'll be 10 years from now.
He's going to have a few patents, probably, and revolutionize the engineering field. He's going to solve some problem, right? And I won't be surprised at all to see his name on that.
Thanks to his running curiosity.
How do things exist? How do you change things in the world?
Scott Breen, MTN Sports.
They're welcoming in winter and wrapping up fall season in style. Mountain bikers came together for the annual Mullet Classic, having a bit of fun with the changing of seasons.
As the snow begins to fly up high, Marshall Mountain wound down their fall bike season with one last ride.
We always fret about the weather with these things. You want it to be good conditions. You want people to be comfortable. You don't want them to back out the last minute.
Originally scheduled for June, but canceled because of weather, the Missoula Mountain Bike Coalition's Mullet Classic took Marshall Mountain by storm on a chilly October day.
The weather's always a thing, but it's Montana, and you kind of have to roll with what you get.
While many donned mullets, Sunday's race also exemplified the hairstyle itself.
The business riders get to climb up, and then the party riders get to have fun come down.
Times from both the uphill and downhill are combined to determine a winner.
It's a long ways to go, pushing hard and not stopping, and it was a little wet, a little muddy, but it was kind of nice because it keeps you cool, you know, gives you a little splash of water.
But for many, it's not about finishing in first place.
It's fun. We're wearing silly costumes, and that's part of the thing.
It's about commemorating a successful season of riding at Marshall coming to an end.
I know that it's been a lot of work for a lot of people, and it is so worth it. Summer, winter, all-inclusive, all abilities. I mean, just to have this place it's so special for the community. It's amazing.
In Missoula, we're lucky to have the public lands that we do, where we can have events and celebrate all the great access to the outdoors right here.
In East Missoula, Emily Brown, MTN News.
We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Positively Montana. I'm Hallie Schwinard, and we'll see you right back here next week.